Our scans picked you out right away. A rigorous debrief is protocol for Terrans.
We also know you're a murderer in at least 2 universes.
What's up, lore masters? Because it's something that seems popular, and I'm a fan of Section 31, I thought I'd break down the interrogation scene, debrief, of one Emperor Georgiou. Let's just get into it.
Our scans picked you out right away. A rigorous debrief is protocol for Terrans.
While this setup is very brief, less than a minute or so, the specific shot here really tells us everything we need to know about what's going on. You see the Emperor relaxed and not concerned about the conversation, at least outwardly so. The hollows to the left are stiff, nothing but business, and then you have the man with the glasses in the middle. He's simply observing. From this, internally, we understand everything that's going on, the motivations of all 3 pieces of this puzzle. As a side note, while it's never stated, I do wonder if the hollows are an initial test for the Emperor. I wonder if their holomatrix were set up to be flawed on purpose. This would explain how someone from the 23rd century would be able to identify issues from 31st century technology. We know from dialogue the man in the glasses has made it his goal to be a subject matter expert on the Mirror Universe and Terran Empire, so he may or may not have done this on purpose just to see what Georgiou would do. Let's continue on.
Depends on how you look at it. I like to look at it like this.
Why are you blinking?
Why aren't you?
I have to admit, I'm not a fan of the way she defeats the hollows, but the back and forth is pretty good when you look at it from a dialogue perspective. I enjoy how she challenges the hollows, points out their flaws, specifically noting how some are blinking and others aren't. I've already noted it before, but their stiffness also helps with the cinematography, so very well done.
What was your connection to Control?
We dated.
All Terrans are duplicitous by their biology.
Or biplicitous bioduology. Neither ology has anything to do with it.
So this is nonsense. Biplicitous doesn't seem to have a definition, and duology means a pair of related novels, movies, or plays, so it's just word salad. Another thing to note is that while he is standing up and looking down at her, the camera never really tilts up or tilts down. It shows that Philippa and the man in the glasses are still on the same level. He just happens to be standing. Again, it's not something that you might notice actively, but your brain does. And when he sits down, you'll see that they're on the same eye level. I'll talk about this in the future, but he's never one-upped her, and she never one-ups him, at least from the camera language.
You may not be aware, but in the past 100 years, we've discovered a chimeric strain on the subatomic level in the Terran stem cell.
Silly hollow. You cannot rattle me by introducing a completely fabricated biological component to my nastiness and inherently bad behavior.
I have to agree with Philippa. Well, on most of it. I will say that from what we observe from previous series, it doesn't appear to bear out what the Hollows had been stating. While the original series does have dialogue that might lead us to believe there's something in the biology of the Mirror Universe, and that's everyone, not just Terrans, by the way, that very same original series episode, Deep Space Nine episodes, Enterprise episodes, and even Discovery episodes that feature the Mirror Universe don't appear to bear this assumption out. From everything shown to us, the actions are based on how the characters have been treated in their lives, how they were born and grew up versus what their genetic makeup is. Historically, we have had several different characters that were good in the Prime Universe be good in the Mirror Universe, and some that were evil in the Prime Universe staying evil in the Mirror Universe. The Hollows say there is a chimeric gene, but I'm pretty sure they are lying, and it's called out rightly by Philippa. Again, I'm not sure if it's due to faulty Hollows or this is just something the 31st century got wrong, but anyway.
You broke my Hollows.
Blinking at their harmonic rate disrupts the hollow protocols, creating a reference loop that shuts them down. Upgrade your programs and stop wasting my time.
This, in my opinion, was a test. Some people get mad that this occurs, but I think it makes sense. These 31st century Hollows had problems a 23rd century despot could identify. I know I've talked about this just a few moments ago, but it's likely purposeful. Our man in the glasses wanted to see if she could identify and take them down. We do know that there's a fix to it. Georgiou admits as such, so it makes more sense that all of this is just some kind of metagame, 4D chess.
Why are you wearing glasses?
They make me look smarter. I like them.
I might decide to like you. Debrief as you will.
Yeah, there's more to those glasses, and that's going to come back, and even if it doesn't come back, there's more to those glasses.
You're curious about my badge.
I'm bored and thought I could break it down for parts.
Play with it.
This is an interesting way of gaining trust. It's give and take. By simply giving her some technology, something she could play with, it creates somewhat of a connection between the two, whether Philippa knows it or not.
It's clear, Emperor, what you're capable of. What's not clear to me is why you chose to come here.
I have a curious nature.
Yeah, she doesn't have a choice. Regardless of what everything else tells us and what the dialogue says, she never really had a choice. She's here by circumstance.
April 5th is my birthday.
A Terran holy day.
April 5th, 2063. First ever contact between Terrans and a Vulcan survey ship. But then your people slaughtered everybody on board.
Vulcans need to learn to stay in their lane sometimes, and it's not like it's a high holy day.
Two things. First, the use of the holy day and high holy day may indicate that the Terran Empire is religious. There are some indications that this is the case. Of course, she could be just using it as a metaphor as well. I'll say God's green earth, and I assure you, I'm not religious. Second, we have no indication, one way or the other, that the Vulcan ship was a survey ship. It could have been an invasion vessel for all we know. In the Prime Universe, the Vulcans are often evil, so God help us who they are in the Mirror Universe.
We're mostly untroubled by pesky motivations, except for revenge. We do like that one.
It seems you've created an empire based on the maxim because we feel like it.
This has no connection. Doing something to do it isn't necessarily connected to motivations. Also, those without motivation don't do anything. The Terran Empire was quite clearly motivated. I really don't know what Philippa is trying to say here beyond the fact that she may be trying to obfuscate facts.
So why would you ever join a Starfleet crew? If you simply wanted to butcher them, you wouldn't.
That would, by the by, make her motivated to butcher them. She didn't do that because she had other motivations.
Much as I enjoy being fetishized, and I do, I'll answer your questions if you answer mine first.
No, you won't really do that.
Correct.
And even if you did, you'd lie. So the only way I'll glean any information is by the questions you ask me. So, please.
Well played.
Who is really in charge now? The burn appeared to have been quite the humbling experience for the Federation. Who was responsible?
That's two questions.
Pick one.
At this point, we need to watch the man with the glasses. While he says he'll only get information based on what Philippa asks, we'll only get truths based on what he responds to, or what he doesn't answer. For instance, he doesn't tell us who's in charge. I wonder if there's any reason that he decides not to answer that one.
And yet it endures, unlike the Terran Empire, which fell centuries ago. Were you aware that the distance between our two universes started expanding sometime after your departure? There hasn't been a single crossing in over 500 years.
Well, except for the man in the glasses crossing over, but, that's a secret.
I think you and the Federation are afraid because whoever did this must be merciless, a threat to whatever or whomever you hold dear.
Interesting that she separates the two. Could have been a turn of phrase, but she could also recognize that he's not exactly part of the Federation.
The weakness of people is generally other people, isn't it?
You're not wrong, but that could also explain why you'd fall in line with Discovery. But there's a person on the crew you care about.
Yeah, this is just bad writing, and it's dumb. Overall, the dialogue is superb and gives us a lot to think about. From a cinematography standpoint, they are kept at eye level with each other, as I've stated, and the camera tells us that these are equals. It's really well put together, and I can't wait to see what they have for the future. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.